Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you how Barack Obama just signaled a major change is coming to the NCAA.
Is he going to be the president again?
Hopefully.
I'm Colin Cowherd. I'll tell you why people need to stop telling LeBron to be more humble. Never worked for me. Speak for yourself starts now. Humble?
He does need to be more humble.
Oh,
I can't wait to get into this. All right. Hello and welcome. We're joined today by NBA champion Stephen Jackson and the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's start with LeBron James, who led the Cavaliers to a win over the Nets and set a couple of records along the way, becoming the oldest player ever to average a triple-double for an entire month.
Amazing. And
also becoming the first player in NBA history to reach 30,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, and 8,000 assists.
Amazing.
After the game, LeBron James congratulated himself on the achievement.
I've always prided myself on being a triple threat player. I'm not a scorer, but I can put the ball in the hole. I rebound the ball to help my teammates offensively and defensively. And I love to get my guys involved. I don't like to be compared to anybody. I feel like I'm a one-of-a-kind player. I'm a player that this league has never seen before, and I take a lot of pride in that. And I want to continue that, in the near future.
All right, he kept it going on social media, posting on Instagram, quote, "It's just surreal knowing where I come from to accomplish never done before in the league. I grew up only dreaming that I could be a part of. Wow." Cowherd, is LeBron more focused on his individual stats than his team success?
Now he's proud of what he's done, and he should be. Muhammad Ali said, "I'm the greatest," and we worshiped him. Michael Jordan punched teammates, called out his high school coach at his Hall of Fame speech. We love him. We cheer him. LeBron's like, "I can't believe what I've done." I'm like, I'd be great. First of all, this sport, even the way they light the court, can't see the crowd. The court is lit. It's a stage. This has always been about player empowerment. The NBA is a players' league. Even the coaches, Calipari and Popovich and Phil Jackson and Red Auerbach, had egos. I'm never bothered by the play. Kobe had an ego. MJ, we just choose who we like and who we don't like. Muhammad Ali called himself the greatest. We love Muhammad Ali.
There you go again.
Well, I like Muhammad Ali.
No.
My favorite boxer ever.
No question. Muhammad Ali was not worshipped in the way that LeBron James was. He was actually vilified. And so, yeah, did he throw it in everybody's face? I'm the greatest. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like my name. I don't care if you like my religion. I don't care if you don't like my stance against the Vietnam War. I get Muhammad Ali. LeBron James has people who their daily job is dependent on kissing LeBron James's butt. And I'm not talking about people that work for LeBron. I'm just talking about people in the media who wake up every day, how can I celebrate LeBron James? Muhammad Ali didn't have that. And so this is unnecessary to me. Let the people who have volunteered for that job to kiss LeBron's tail 24/7, let them have that job. Why has LeBron got to do their job too?
And boxing is also a self-promoted sport. You're not on the team. You got to really by yourself, so you got to promote yourself. That's totally different. But with LeBron, it's good. It's cool to pat yourself on the back. But at the same time, you never seen Mike do that. You never seen no other great do that, pat himself on the back. We know you're great. This is what we expected from you when you came in the league, to break records and be one of the best of all time. Yeah, we haven't seen this before. You are great. But let somebody else tell you that. And I had a friend tell me LeBron is the only superstar that he's ever seen in 20 years of the NBA that has to be told he's great. He has to be told that for some reason, and the way he pats himself on the back, it looked like it.
Well, with the social media aspect, Stephen, Michael Jordan, if he had Instagram and Twitter, you don't think he would have been talking trash on there and saying how great he was? This is a guy who...
Hold on, was that social media? Was that camera that I just saw him on, was that social media?
Michael Jordan did not have the aspect after every game to go out and speak to everybody the way LeBron can. Worldwide right now, LeBron can do that. But you know what this is setting up, right? Man, I've done everything I can in my power in Cleveland.
Question.
I have averaged a triple-double, Stephen Jackson, in February.
Right.
I'm doing up 25, 5, and 5 for 14 straight years. Nobody's done that for 9.
Right.
Boy, I did everything I could, Stephen. I got to go. I got to leave Cleveland now, go somewhere else in the offseason. That's what this is all setting up. This is a long game.
Well, hold on.
This is a long game.
So he cares more about individual success.
Well, listen, we know LeBron James cares about winning. Okay, we know he cares about winning.
Oh,
and we know he loves individual stats.
We can't question that. We can't question
We cannot.
winning.
I'm not questioning that. But he is setting it up for the departure after this
What
season.
does he care more about, stats or team success?
Winning. Why did he leave for Miami? He needed to win. Why did he go back to Cleveland?
You going back to Miami? I said this year. How is LeBron James operating? Does he care more about his individual stats or his team winning this year?
He knows they're not winning the title, so he's got to pad the stats.
By the way, you like Tech Nine.
Todd, yeah, I love Tech Nine.
I'm more Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I love Tech Nine too. Whoop whoop.
Okay, I'm a Jay-Z guy. Jay-Z's music is a celebration to himself, and that's okay.
That's every rapper.
Okay, and you like him because that's the
That's
culture
rap.
of rap. Well, by the way, NBA is player worship. That's what it's always been, shoe deals.
Show me the other NBA player that's doing that.
Well, there's no NBA player that's close to that. So I give him a little bit of a break.
Every rapper does what Jay-Z does.
Right.
Tech Nine does it. Trust me, he's the best. He thinks he's the best, and he is.
And that's fine. We like that.
But LeBron, you are the best. That's not in question, so you don't have to pat yourself on the back that much. We all know you are the best. The only reason Cleveland even have a chance, or we even talking about Cleveland winning the East or going to the finals, is because of you, not because of the team. We all know that. Just be great and let us give you your flowers.
But maybe there's something to what Whitlock said about the media. People love to gas up LeBron. There's also a lot of people daily who love to bash him. Oh, he's not Jordan.
Right.
Oh, he's not the best. He's not winning anything this year. And LeBron needs to respond to everybody.
No, that's such a small contingent of irrelevant people. LeBron James is magnificent. Again, he's one of the greatest forces I've ever seen in athletics. But there's other parts of his personality. This is based in insecurity. I'm not as good as Mike, so I'm going to try to put together a case that I'm as good as Mike. And for those of you that aren't paying attention, you know, Mike never did this. He never had 30,000 and 8 rebounds, or 8,000 rebounds and 8,000 assists. I don't like it. If you're the best, you don't need to do that. This is the Speak for Yourself podcast, and I'm Jason Whitlock. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you today's show is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. It's that time again, that familiar crossroads of choosing between basketball and hockey. You can't choose, they're both on. Why are they both on? Relax, we have a solution. Buffalo Wild Wings. Rather than fill your living room with TVs, coming to B-dubs, we've got hockey and basketball on, each playing on dozens of screens so that you don't have to choose. And to complete the trifecta, we can ensure you have access to all the sports, foods you crave. From our selection of America's favorite wings and any of our 21 signature sauces and seasonings to shareable favorites like cheddar cheese curds and fried pickles, you'll have everything you've ever wanted. But wait, we also have a variety of beers to quench your thirst. All the basketball, all the hockey, all the food, and the beer you want. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. Please drink responsibly. Now back to the show.
To the NCAA, which is facing some intense criticism in the wake of an FBI investigation into allegations of corruption among the top programs in college basketball. Now maybe the most famous college basketball fan on earth, Barack Obama, has reportedly weighed in, suggesting that the NBA should start its own farm system because the NCAA system is not a sustainable way of doing business. Whitlock, do you think the this backlash by Obama will lead to college basketball players getting paid?
Well, I think it's more than just President Obama, but I do think like President Obama, former President Obama, is the final straw in terms of when you've lost Barack Obama, you've lost the room. When it reaches the level of someone as thoughtful as him, as a passionate basketball fan as him, and he understands his place in American society, when he's calling out the NCAA, I just don't think this system is sustainable. It just doesn't have the credibility with the public to continue on. And so, yes, I think we are finally at a place where the NCAA is going to have to take some accountability for the problems in itself and change.
Well, you know who's going to change this? The courts, just like the Ed O'Bannon case. What this really is tyranny of the mob. You know, the mob, this is what the mob is. Currently, the internet mob is on.
I'm a part of that. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was for a while, everybody was racist.
Right.
In the whole world. And now it's NCAA's terrible people. Again, 99% of kids who get scholarships are well served. Now, I don't like the one and done rule. You know that. I don't like the idea that I make you a fortune as a college football player, and I can't even get a digital check. Look, we agree on that. But in the end, this is the way it happens. March Madness will end, and then the angry tyranny of the mob will move to another topic and beat up somebody else. Now the NCAA, because the football season's over, we didn't talk about during football season, we got this month period where we talk college basketball, so let's crush them.
Listen, Colin, these leaks from the FBI, this isn't on accident. There are people ready for the NCAA's amateurism thing to end. That's how FBI leaks happen. And again, if you go dig down deep into this story, some of this stuff, allegations are really flimsy. And so again, the leak is intentional because there are people in power that want to push the NCAA along into changing its system. And that's not going to stop. Again, it may take a year, may take 2 years, but there are about to be major changes to the NCAA amateurism system, in my view.
It's a new day. It's a new day. We know our worth now. We don't need you to tell us our worth. We know our worth, and we want what we're worth, regardless of what our age is. And that's just basically what it is. You can't tell these kids that they can't make money. You can't tell them they can't be successful. We know how successful we want to be. We know what we're worth at a young age now. We know that now. So coming into college, if you're not going to pay us, you got to find a way to pay us, so we're not going to come to college. And that's just what it is. That's what it's come down to.
I like Cowherd's internet mob mentality. We make fun of social media a lot, Whitlock. You and I privately, we talk about it. There's groupthink everywhere, and, it's empty calories. I've compared it to fast food. But occasionally, you'll find a topic that'll pop into your feed, and you'll be like, whoa, I might have to check out this story. And I think that's what's happening here with the NCAA story. A lot of people who previously had no idea that the March Madness TV contract was $8.8 billion. And the athletes don't see a cent. And there's a lot of housewives and dads who don't follow sports are like, wait, what's going on here? And I think that's coming out now, and I think we're going to see for sure the athletes get paid sooner than later.
I just think sometimes there's a momentum. Laws and rules only have validity when there's massive public support for them, or at least a 51% public support. I just don't think the NCAA rules now carry any weight of integrity or authority because the public is out on the NCAA. They've lost, and they've held on to power and held on to this system for as long as they can, but now responsible people. President Obama is not someone that's thrown into emotional fits or just says things irresponsibly. When he was the president, he said some things about the NCAA and how unfair the system was. He's doubling down now because, again, he's a politician. He knows which way the wind is blowing. And the wind is blowing against the NCAA, and I'm so glad this time is here. It's outlived its usefulness. I used to be, in the early 90s, I was a big defender of the NCAA and amateurism. I flipped as more and more money got poured into this system and coaches started making these obscene amounts of money, and you want to deprive the kids, and I'm not talking about all of them. Don't pay me. I was a mediocre mid-American college football player. Don't pay the second-string guy at Alabama or whatever. But the guys that generate the revenue, the guys that people are tuning in to see, they need a cut of this bread.
Who's going to decide who they are?
I think, in my view, and again, my solutions are the professional leagues need to be involved. College football and basketball have been great farm systems for the professional leagues. They need to be footing the bill on paying these guys.
Good luck with that.
I don't think.
Why can't we let the free market decide? What's wrong with letting the free market decide if an athlete is a big-time college basketball player and guess what? The local car dealership wants to sponsor him and pay him money for commercials. Let that happen.
But regardless of how they do it, it's going to be beneficial for both sides. Because if you're paying these kids, you got more kids coming, you got better kids coming, and you still benefiting at the end of the day.
I agree, but if we go there, to car dealership, local car dealership, Lord have mercy, that's how guys like me end up getting some money. And again, I didn't deserve any. The education was enough.
Welcome back. Joined now by Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. Congratulations, Ray.
My guys, appreciate you, man.
This is awesome, man.
Appreciate you.
It's awesome. It's
Mama
like
proud of me?
Jim Brown in his prime sitting next to me, man. This is awesome.
Also joined by former Pro Bowler T.J. Hushmanzada. We like you, too. By the way.
Appreciate it.
All right. Let's
Former teammate, too.
There you go,
buddy.
Let's move to the National Football League, which admitted yesterday, it's kind of wild, that Des Bryant's infamous non-catch in the playoffs should have been ruled complete, and saying that they will consider simplifying the controversial catch rule this offseason. That's not the only change up for debate. The league will also look into limiting pass interference penalties to 15 yards. Boy, is that long overdue. College got that right years ago. Whitlock, which change would have a bigger impact, the catch rule or PI?
Pass interference is the rule they need to address. I've never found the catch rule complicated. I've never found it controversial. Pass interference is what drives me crazy. It's way too punitive. It's way too ticky-tack. And, you know, giving people, it's been moving. We have some stats here. In 2007, pass interferences plus 20, there were 54. This past season, there were 99.
It is punitive.
It's just happening too often, too big of an impact on the game.
Well, you are a former football player, so you are in a 3% knowledge base. You're an intense, knowledgeable football fan. For football fans, I agree with you.
Good point.
The catch rule for the guy at the bar, okay, who's drinking a Budweiser, that ticks him off because that's offense, that affects his fantasy team, that affects commerce. Football people, I've been on this for years. College football got pass interference right. NFL's been sitting there for 30 years screwing it up. The catch, I think, hurt ratings to a small degree. It can never confuse the consumer. When you go to a grocery store, I don't want don't make me guess where the bread is and the eggs are. Like, don't make a confusing grocery store. NFL last couple of years, I don't know what to catch. They talk about the process, surviving the ground. I don't even know what that stuff means. This rule, PI's for football guys. The catch is for the masses. They didn't get it.
It's a good point.
What's more important? That's a tough question. They have to be consistent. Whatever they're gonna, if it looks like a catch, it's a catch. And to me, that's just obvious. The pass interference call, that's so subjective. Because if I'm a DB and I'm beat, I'm gonna just tackle you if I know I got 15 yards.
They don't do that in college.
They're not smart enough to realize that. When the guys in the league, you get beat, I'm going to just tackle you. 15 yards, live to play another down. The catch rule has cost the Cowboys a playoff victory against Green Bay. Obvious. The catch rule this year cost Pittsburgh home field advantage against New England, possibly a trip to the Super Bowl. So for me, it's just make it consistent. Whatever you're going to go with, roll with it, and be very consistent with it.
First of all, everything that we talk about is always helping the offense. How can we stop the offense? How can we stop this? This is one of the worst things that I've said in football for a long time. If I'm on defense, I got my 11, and I beat you man-to-man. I beat you man-to-man. You draw up your call, I draw up my call. And we dominate you. But you can just throw back and just throw up a pass, like last year's Jacksonville game against the New England Patriots. If you're a quarterback like Tom Brady, you're saying, I'm going to get this every time. And the most embarrassing rule, 2009, 2011, we went to New England. And I kept saying over and over, it's embarrassing that y'all let them get away with that. 15 yards, that's the only thing. You cannot spot foul that.
Yeah.
To spot foul that.
A 60-yard penalty.
That's a 60. And I'm telling you,
don't PI them 60 yards on the field, and it won't be a spot foul.
That is so not what you should be talking about.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's no way you can defend it.
Yeah, you can.
TJ,
don't PI them. That's how you defend it.
You can't.
They so ticky-tack with it.
It is, man.
A little incidental contact. They too ticky-tack, TJ.
You look at that pass on Boyer last year.
That was pass interference.
It wasn't even catchable. The ball was out of bounds.
It was PI. It was not catchable. I will agree with that. It wasn't.
That's not a PI.
Now, that's the referee's fault. That's the official's fault. They have to get some type of consistency in how they call it and what they're calling.
Pass interference it's a sophisticated, debatable play. The catch should be really easy. Listen, PI is always going to be tough. It's a jump ball in basketball. It's the hardest play to officiate. When we're struggling with you have ball security 2 feet down and you're telling me it's not a catch.
Here's my issue, though, Colin. There's 3 of those plays a year.
What plays? The catch.
Catch or no catch a year. Three of those plays a year that are controversial. Damn near every game I turn on, there's a controversial pass interference call. Every game. Again, consistency would help. but also the punitive nature of it, man. Moving a guy down 25, 30 yards downfield on some bogus stuff.
Wait, listen to me. Okay. If you're catching a football, catch the football. If you're making a tackle, there's no such thing as a half tackle. There's no such thing as a half tackle. If something is in your hand and I knock it out, there's no such thing as a half fumble. If I knock that out of your hand without you liking it, that's a doggone fumble. We can go all the way back to the tuck rule with Brady. I mean, guys, I'm just saying from a defensive perspective, how we are catering so much to offenses. If I do something against your will, that's called a turnover. It'll never change in all of sports. But now we've said, oh, the ball looked like it was wobbling. Oh, his hand looked like it was coming forward. If it's against your will, we win as defense. Once again, with the pass interference.
And people want to see points scored, man. They don't want to see no 6-3
points
6-3 game.
Why do you don't want to see a 6-3 game?
That's boring.
People want to see great competition.
Absolutely.
Right.
They want to see great competition. Y'all have made it into, because of fantasy football, people want to see scoring.
Of course.
But people want to see great competition. And Ray, if I understand your point, you think you don't have a real problem with the catch rule. If you knock the ball out of the guy's hand in any kind of way on his way to the ground, you stick with that.
Absolutely.
But you also think the pass interference thing should be limited to 15
yards.
The problem with pass interference is you can actually defend it well and trip a guy.
Yes.
The problem is there's a component of luck. Pass interference. You could literally cover the wheel route perfectly as a linebacker.
Yeah.
And your legs get tangled up and it costs you 42 yards.
What happens when a guy is beat for a touchdown and guys just start tackling guys?
It doesn't happen.
It will happen.
It doesn't happen in college football.
Because they're not smart enough.
Yeah, they are.
If they change,
you played college football. He played.
I wasn't smart enough when I was in college.
We were smart enough.
If they change this rule, guys will intentionally tackle you. Why wouldn't you? They should
It'll be a penalty. It'll be a penalty, 15 yards. You'll get bonuses for it.
But you could possibly have a touchdown.
Well, guys, you know what, Hughes, y'all need to cut this mess.
Catch the ball. All right, welcome back. Ray Lewis and Steven Jackson are back. Let's move to the NBA, where Kevin Durant was asked in a new interview about the ongoing NCAA corruption scandal and raised an interesting point about something that happens on the NBA level that he thinks is contributing to the problem.
They gotta stop publicizing how much money we make as NBA players, because it's driving these parents,
it's driving everybody
crazy.
What point?
Crazy. So now they're saying, oh, such and such just made $200 million on a 5-year deal. What you think these parents now talking about? They're not even worrying about the game no more. It's like, oh yeah, you need to go make that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas back in the day, I didn't know what none of these dudes was making.
Cowherd, you agree with KD?
No, it's too idealistic. I mean, people are going to talk about salaries. You know what? It's about parenting. I tell my kids all the time, don't chase money, chase passion. If a kid's freaking out and talking about money, then you sit down with mom and dad, and everybody wants to have kids. How about parent them? How about talk to them? How about communicate with them? How about teach them?
It's harder some places and some zip codes than others.
Well, it may be.
Much harder. Much harder.
But I mean, his belief system here is very idealistic. Nobody talk money. You don't think that's going to get out?
Let me tell you where he's wrong, again, because he didn't know what guys were making. That's bull. I remember when Magic Johnson, 25 years, $25 million. Of
course.
I remember that as a kid. We've been knowing the salaries of athletes for a long time. What has happened, though, is the numbers have gotten so astronomical, and it does create problems for athletes in terms of the phone calls from cousins, high school classmates, aunties and uncles, and everything start coming, and it is a headache. Again, there's nothing that can be done about it, as you said, but he does have a point. This does create major complications for the athletes, and his point is that a lot of people aren't focused on the game anymore. They're focused on what the game can do for them and how much money they can make.
Is it possible that money motivates people?
I agree, and that's what the only change I would make here, where I kind of agree with him, is I wish that in all these leagues, baseball, football, everything, that there was some part of the money attached to actually wins and losses, that you made some part of your money based off winning and losing.
Well, money motivates me. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Jack,
yeah.
and motivate Jack.
Money motivates me.
So when you knew how much NBA guys made, it made you work harder.
But that's not the problem. The problem is the parents see these big contracts and see these players are not that good. So my son doesn't have to be that good to make $200 million now. That's the problem. You paying these players all this money and they're not producing. So when the parents sit back and look at, okay, even if my son's not that good, his chances are great now because they paying Chandler Parsons $100 million and he's averaging 6 points. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the bigger problem. It's not them publicizing how much they make.
It's paying the average players a ton.
Exactly.
You know what?
But everybody don't want to say that.
Right. Jack, I love you to death, man. I'm glad I'm on here with you, Jack. That Jack,
Appreciate it, my brother.
real. Yes, sir. No, I tell you this. When you think about, and I've been looking at this from a different perspective for a long time. So it's interesting. The only reason I don't agree with KD, I agree with him where he's going with it, but there's another side of it that I don't think athletes ever think about. And this is, for me, that's why I'm in the businesses that I'm in. Because players' money stopped attracting me a long time ago. I never worried about a man's check. Man make a lot of money, that's great. But I'm not excited about the man who makes a lot of money. I'm excited about the man who's able to pay him that type of money.
Right.
See, that's one thing about players that I think we find ourselves in a very interesting spot when the game is over. Yeah, you were that guy who done that. So then go capitalize off of that. But don't just remain a player. Go figure out how to become an owner. Right? And that's where I think when you start to think about what these neighborhood kids, what KD is talking about, what these neighborhood kids are seeing, they're seeing these numbers. Oh my gosh, 200 million. You know, this Boyville Houston, he makes 225 million. And I'm saying to myself, well, suppose you ever thought about if you was not athletic enough, possibly being the person who pays the 220 million. But we don't dream that far because they mesmerize us with player contracts. It's all a trickery of the game to say the only thing you'll ever do is strive to be great enough to make an NFL or NBA contract. But how many of us try enough to be great to say one day I own what you own? That's kind of what I think, guys.
Yeah, because like take Mark Cuban. He didn't own the Mavericks because of his great playing career.
100%.
Right. He invented something.
So guess what he said? He flipped it. He flipped it. He said my athletic ability won't get me what I want. So I'll flip it and go own a team.
I do think, you know, money is not an evil thing, though. I think money is often opportunity. I think sometimes, forget just the figure of money. Money is opportunity. Money gets you your mother a house. It gets you transportation. I think publicizing the salaries kind of lets people know, listen, man, I work hard. There are gold bricks at the end. I mean, listen, when I got into my career, I'll never forget this. So you're a newspaper guy. So I'm a young kid. I'm like 18 years old, 19 years old. And I go visit the local newspaper because I want to be a sports writer. And I drive into the parking lot with my old beater car. And it's just a bunch of beater cars. And then I go to the local TV affiliate. And I see a cabriolet and a BMW. And I'm like, I want to be in TV and radio, not a newspaper. So it wasn't about a dollar figure. It was, man, the TV station was opportunity. Somebody there made money. Newspaper parking lot was old VW bugs, and it was cars that didn't look. So
those of us that believed in America were over there.
But I think sometimes when you know the money, it's like, listen, that guy's 6'3", I'm 6'3", he loves hoop. He's from my hometown.
Yeah.
He played on the AAU team I did. It's a caveat. It's out there. You're chasing that thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's money. I think it's a love of money.
Well, issues of family and money are hardly limited to the NBA. Lamar Jackson arrived at the NFL Combine today, where reportedly he's opted to forego agency representation, instead choosing to be represented by his own mom. Whitlock, I don't think you like this. You think he's going to regret this decision?
Yeah, I think that this is an indication that, you know, he's too close to his mom and not making... Yeah, you can be too close. Again,
I can't never be too close to my mom.
You can be.
I hit you with the Scooby-Doo.
You can be too close to your mom and not step up as a full-grown man and take control of your situation. It happens all the time. It's an issue in our community because a lot of guys grow up without dads and they're so dependent on their mom. he needs better advice.
Hey, one of the criticisms of Lonzo Ball was like his dad always did the talking for him. I mean, there is something.
Yeah.
Now, if Lonzo had been in the league 10 years, we wouldn't say that. But I've heard more people, I'm not one of them, but I've heard people say, Lonzo's not his own man. His dad's doing all the talking. Could I make the argument, dude, you're a quarterback. You can't have your mom representing you.
Well, I'm from the country, and I can't never love my mom enough.
It's not about love.
Looking at the camera, I love you so much, I can't love you enough. But I'm just saying, like, his mom knows his worth. He knows his worth. At this point, he's coming new to the league.
Would you let your mom represent you as an agent?
You know what? I represent myself.
Would you let your mom, that was your dodging, would you let your mom be your agent?
No, but I would let her handle my money, because that's basically what she's doing. She's not really representing him. She's basically handling his money. He's going to make all the decisions. That's all that really is. But who has who has your best interest at heart more than your mom?
Nobody.
Nobody. So if that's the chance,
Doesn't mean she's the best person to handle your money.
You're exactly right. But if I have to take a chance and go out with someone, I'm gonna go out with my mama. That's just real.
You wouldn't let her.
I understand that.
You know what? I'm with Jack on this, because one of the biggest mistakes I think young players make when we get this type of money or this type of opportunity is the first person we go to trust is an agent that we don't even know. We know nothing about them. We know their backgrounds. We know nothing. But we go immediately and say, oh, I'll give you 3%. 3% of what I work for, because what Lamar Jackson is about to get is already signed on the dotted line. Wherever he's slotted at, that's what number he's getting. Now, what I would tell him to tread carefully about with his mom is make sure you both understand the business wholeheartedly, all the way through. Seek advice.
That's hard, though. That's
but even if it's hard, Colin, I'm telling you,
experience is the best teacher.
It's sometimes, sooner or later, we got to change the narrative. Sooner or later, we got to stop making all these agents rich. Man, we're making them filthy rich, wealthy.
What's the matter with making Eugene Parker rich?
What you mean? Why not make my mama wealthy?
Same difference.
Same difference. If we all go through the education process together, it's one of the things that I'm starting to teach now in a lot of business about financial literacy, about understanding what your money means for you. Not somebody else counting your money and tell you, hey, I think you should do this or I think you should do that. Like, how many guys do not have a structure set up when they start to receive that type of money?
I agree. Listen, moms are great.
They're amazing.
Particularly happen to believe I have the greatest one ever invented. So, but as an agent, as a financial advisor, there's preparation that goes into that. And I'm going to go real big picture here, because and I wish we had more time to talk about it, because this is a black issue. Black men and their mothers and how we interact. It's a major issue in a positive and there's some negatives or complications to it. But I'm gonna ask both of y'all ever watch Roots? The TV. Go watch the first episode again and see how we were supposed to be trained as men, go off to manhood training, and come back. And even our mothers answered to us after we went through the manhood training. We're supposed to step up and be the leaders. And instead, we never break that cycle. And mama's leading. I know some people 50 years old, and mama's still the head of them. We have a cycle.
That's out of respect, though.
Yeah, he's changing the narrative.
Aren't there already? Lamar is one of those quarterbacks where half the league's in, half the league's not. It's not like Elway. Right.
Yeah,
so there's some questions. Couldn't I argue it kind of adds another question? Even if you're right, it's so unique.
It is.
That there's going to be a GM like, I just don't feel good with this. This feels youthful. Like, even if because there's already about half the league on him is like, what if another
but
four
But
GM...
they do that about every black quarterback.
No, they don't.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
No, they don't.
They say
They
every black quarterback can't do this, can't do that. He should be a receiver. He should.
Nah, Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston. There's a lot of guys.
It
used to be.
If her credibility.
Said the same thing about Mike Vick.
Right. If all the things that she knows, if they went into this together, I get it what you're saying, right? All you want to do is be informed. I get it. But if you have the same ability to go read the exact same books, to go study exact the way the contract negotiations go, Go what?
But Tom Collins has got 25, 35 years of experience at it. That he trained for it for,
You're calling out the top of tops. Think about how many
He's Lamar
agents-
Jackson.
I graduated high school, no college degree. I negotiated my own extension while I had while I was on a 2-year deal. 3 years, $30 million, my own extension with no agent.
Did your mom do it or did you do it?
What I'm saying is anybody can learn it. You don't have to be somebody that's already doing it. Anybody can pick it up. We can comprehend.
Sooner or later, you got to start counting your own money. That's the narrative. If nothing he did with his mom,
I can do it, his mom
sooner or
can
later
do it.
you got to start counting your own money. So I like it. I'm a
Who
ride with
negotiates yours?
And his last name Jackson. I'm rolling.
You have a big agent?
I have representation.
Okay.
So does Ray. So does Steven.
No,
so
I
do
don't.
you.
I represent myself.
Really?
Archer's right there.
I can't wait.
I
to
like
take-
Mr. Jackson.
I'm gonna take you to the cleaners.
Welcome back, Ray Lewis. TJ Houshmandzadeh are back. Let's move to New England, where the Patriots drama appears to have followed the team into the offseason. Reportedly, Gronk has been unhappy with the team for some time and even considered stepping away from football during training camp last year. Add this news to the Malcolm Butler decision and the rift with Tom Brady. Whitlock, are you concerned about the Patriots' culture and locker room?
Yes, and Tom Curran, who follows the team, said that there needs to be a major clearing of the air in the Patriots locker room, and I agree with him. I think this Super Bowl loss is going to haunt this team. You know, there's been one team to lose the Super Bowl and come back and win it the next year. The 71 Dolphins turned into the 72 Dolphins. Other than that, when you lose that Super Bowl, and then I think when you lose it in the fashion that they did, where there's all these questions about Malcolm Butler, there's a stench in that locker room. Gronk has now said, we debated this 2 or 3 weeks ago, is it fun to play for the New England Patriots? The guy from Lance Johnson or someone from the offensive lineman from the Philadelphia Eagles said, more fun over here, Lane Johnson. And so, yeah, I think they have a festering problem in New England that Bill Belichick needs to address.
Well, the Patriots aren't player-driven. The Steelers are. New England beats them. Seattle is, went into the tank. The Cowboys are. New England's not. Everybody can have their own sort of culture. Baltimore was led by defense. I mean, just always. Seattle led by defense. Not every culture has to be player-driven. By the way, Gronk's made a lot of money. Football's hard. Maybe he's just done with it. Some guys he's had a lot of injuries.
Players will snatch that steering wheel at some point if they don't like the way
In New England?
driving. Anywhere. If they don't like the way you drive it, eventually the players will snatch that steering wheel. And Bill Belichick, I'm telling you, it could happen to him.
I think every team is player-driven. Every team is player-driven. They're just kind of fed up. I was watching football this past fall, and it just tripped me out when I'm watching Patriots playing Miami Dolphins, and then I see a Gronkowski interview. I couldn't believe it. I want to talk about the celebration I did, but I'm scared that Bill's going to get mad at me. I really want to talk about it, but I guess I can't. I'm scared. You never hear players talk like that. Normally, hey, man, we talked about this celebration. This is what we're going to do. We just having fun. They are completely scared of Bill. It's a dictatorship in New England, and things are going to have to change or he's going to lose a team.
He did get to the Super Bowl.
No, I know.
Well, I mean, it's, in today's time, him getting to the Super Bowl, that's just something they do. They have to.
Soon as Brady leaves, let's see if they keep getting to the Super Bowl.
Because that's going to be the question. When Tom Brady leaves New England, what happens? But when you start to see the things that's starting to happen, whether it's Malcolm Butler, whether it's Gronk, whether it's Brady, Kraft, and Belichick, you ask yourself a real question, right? Anybody can make a house look like a home, but the only thing that makes a home is open communication, and it's not open communication right now. There's a lot of whispers. There's a lot of whispers, what you're talking about, TJ, what Gronk wants to say, what he really wants to do, what Brady really thinks, what Malcolm Butler now thinks. So you got all these whispers coming from New England. And then you ask yourself, wow, is this house really folding? Are New England on their way down? What I will tell you this, if I know anything about this team, they will use this again. And possibly, if somebody in the AFC does not change it, they will be representing the Super Bowl again next year.
I will say, we do have a little bit of a precedent. Bob Knight's brilliant. I mean, my high school ran the Bob Knight offense. Almost every high school ran the motion offense.
Yeah.
Bob didn't evolve. That is the one thing I worry about, because Bob Knight and Belichick are friends, is that sometimes people in power get older and they get less patient and they don't evolve with technology. Like my wife and I.
Changing.
And that's the problem. My wife and I always talk about that. We better learn technology because our kids know it.
Yeah.
Is Bill getting old and cranky?
Look, you're hitting a beautiful point. This past weekend, Steve Lavin and I were talking about the NCAA, and he gave me this great saying: if there's no evolution, there will be revolution. That's what's gonna happen, I think, with the Patriots. Again, I'm from Indiana. I saw it happen with Bobby Knight. There was no evolution, and a revolution came and took him out in a heartbeat, you know, just like that. And again, I just think Bill Belichick has some issues here in his locker room. Guys are making so much money. There's so much more mobility and freedom to move around. And his way isn't perfect. This Malcolm Butler thing leaves a stench. Guys in that locker, they don't have, this lack of communication that Ray's talking about. We just want to understand. We got to the ultimate game, and a guy that played 98% of the snaps leading up to the Super Bowl got none in the Super Bowl. I need an explanation.
Yeah, because, and I'm just being honest, in Baltimore, that ain't happening. If he can help us win this, we'll deal with whatever that issue is after this game.
That's exactly what I said.
There's no way our best cover man are not playing in the biggest game there is. There's no need to keep playing.
Well, if Belichick throws a chair this year, then we know for sure he's turned into Bobby Knight.
Time for last call. Let's start with Lonzo Ball, who is allegedly the future of the Lakers, but somehow just lost a shooting contest to Bow Wow, and it was caught on tape. Cowherd, should Lonzo be embarrassed by this?
No, Lonzo's actually shooting a lot better since December. Come on, I mean, even if you're a golf pro, you could play around with somebody and have a great shot.
Never happened to Tiger Woods.
Well, he's the greatest golfer of all time.
I know, and you got Lonzo Ball as the greatest rookie of all time.
He's had a very good last 15 games.
Look.
He's not a bust.
And first of all, Bow Wow actually, I think, was a pretty good basketball player. I think maybe even had a cup of coffee in college. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think he should laugh it off. And you're right, Lonzo Ball's shooting better. So when it comes to real time, I bet you he wouldn't beat Lonzo in a shooting contest in an NBA game. All right, let's move to the professional wrestling, where our very own Colin Cowherd was spotted last night at WWE SmackDown, getting into it with John Cena, posting a picture with some wrestlers. Are these wrestlers? And actually looking like he was having a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Cowherd, did your wife approve of your post-fight picture?
Well, of the beautiful, talented professional female wrestlers.
Yeah.
Listen, it was like a rock concert. If you haven't gone to WWE, it's loud. There's bikinis, there's fireworks, there's on-stage performance.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
There's a lot of interaction with the crowd. It was fun. I had a blast.
Did you meet Vince McMahon? Was he in the house?
No, I met Stephanie McMahon, his daughter. It's really a professionally run organization, and it was a hoot. We laughed for 2 hours.
I used to love wrestling when I was a kid, and looking forward to perhaps getting more involved or watching more wrestling in the future.
You should. Very good sport. Coming to a network near you.